How's it going, everybody? It's Thursday. We got a short slate, so it's going to be a little bit of a short video, but we're going to get after it, same as we always do. I'm going to give you three guys that I think are solid values for this evening, and we're going to talk about two stud players that I think are in really good positions to do well tonight. Now, like I said, it's a three-game slate, so this isn't going to take very long. If you've watched these videos before, thank you for coming back. Appreciate you being here. If it's your first time, please click that subscribe button, and everybody, please click that like button before you get on out of here. I'd appreciate it if we could see how many likes we can get on this video. We've kind of ranged between 120 and 350, so let's see if we can get somewhere in the middle. 225 likes on this video before lineups lock at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's a different lock time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for lock this evening. Things are kind of straightforward. We're going to see how they go on this slate, and obviously be at your workstation 30 minutes before lock time because everything can change, and they most likely do. On a shorter slate, it's going to be a little bit different. There's not as many changes that can happen. There's not as many opportunities for value. We already know one guy that's out that's going to present some, and there is somebody or two guys that are going to be out that are going to change the way that the value plays look on this slate by the time lineups lock. And we may or may not have the information because the big players are the Clippers players. We got TYRONE and we've got Blake Griffin, who are questionable for this evening, may or may not play. That game locks 2 hours after lineups do, so you may have to make decisions before you have all of the information. Daily fantasy can be, especially daily fantasy NBA, can be a game of partial information, and you have to make those decisions. Sometimes you just have to make them without all the information. You have to take chances, a leap of faith, if you will. So let's take a look at the lineups. Let's see what we have here. First couple of guys that I need to talk about. We can do this way. Let's look at the Clippers, right? Because I said that with a couple of guys out for them, we know that Blake Griffin is questionable for this evening. He's not out, right? So he didn't play the other night. This is the second night of a back-to-back. He may play tonight. We don't know. If he's out, it really bumps Lou Williams. It really, as we saw last night with his ridiculous performance, right? 50 points, 65 fantasy points. Great scorer, gets a big usage bump. DeAndre Jordan gets a usage bump. Gallinari out, Rivers out. If TYRONE is out as well, that keeps Juwan Evans, whose salary continues to rise, right? And now he's at a point where we need 30 fantasy points from him, and he may or may not get there. But there's a couple of other players who might. We got Tyrone Wallace. Might have to call him once again tonight after his second 30-minute performance in the last 3 games. Yes, both of those against Golden State. It might be a matchup thing with him where he only played 19 against Atlanta. But if Blake Griffin and TYRONE are out, I really like Tyrone Wallace considering how energetic this kid is. He's out here trying to show off something so he could stick in the league, kind of a two-way contract with the G League team. If they're out, I really like Wallace. Thank you for the hosted radio. Appreciate you guys. And Montreal Harrell. Another player who sees a lot of minutes with Blake Griffin out. Griffin here for this game, plays 14. Griffin not there, 32 and 26. Getting over 22, we need 24-ish points. Pigs in a blanket, thank you very much. Clip a chalk, I don't disagree. 5 months in a row, 1 month to go until you get that gold VIP sub badge for the chat. So those two guys are going to be great plays if Griffin is out. Griffin has been out. I'm going to say that he is for right now. I'm going to go with Harrell. Let's put him at the power forward spot. I'm going to go with Harrell to start. And again, be ready to change this if you have to. There's other directions that you can go if you choose to avoid him. Now, we also have on Toronto, Kyle Lowry. Assume he is going to be out. Unlikely to play against the Cavaliers, which means that DELON WRIGHT becomes kind of our guy. Anytime that he's out, we see a big usage bump. We see a big minutes bump. 30, 29, 29. And he has a good opportunity to get you at or around that 30 points. Just based on the fact that he is a very active player. Gets rebounds, gets a few assists, chips in with blocks and steals, very athletic player, can score the basketball a little bit. Don't expect 10 to 15 shots like you saw against Chicago on the third. More along the lines of the last 2 games where he saw between 5 and 10 shots. With that, he can get you to value. We know that he has the upside if he decides to be really... If they push him into a more of a scoring role, because obviously the greatest correlation between real life and fantasy scoring is scoring the basketball, actually putting the ball in the hoop. But I'm not expecting this sort of an outcome. I think somewhere in here, maybe 10 points tonight, chipping in with some rebounds and assists, getting to around that 30 points, gets us to value. On a short slate, you have to take the value where you can find it. Also, because of the size on Cleveland, Jonas Valanciunas, another solid play this evening. Not really getting a ton of minutes. As long as he gets over 20, he should approach value at 5.4K. I expect him to play on the higher side of that, maybe 25 to 27 minutes tonight. If we can't, then fine. We'll go to somewhere else, but that's my third value for right now. I want somebody that can get me a double-double on a short slate. We might also be able to find value on San Antonio. I don't think they're going to rest anybody this evening. We saw Burton's go crazy the last time that they played. Slow-mo Kyle Anderson, another value play here. Burton's has been priced up to 4,500. He was a really slick play the last game against Sacramento when everybody sat. I expect more bodies to be back, so his minutes are going to come down to around the mid-20s, maybe 24 to 26. Maybe if you're lucky, 27 minutes. I don't think 30-plus is in play here, and he's not going to get the usage that he got in the last game, so that scoring is going to come down more along these last three games, somewhere between 8 and 15 points as opposed to 20, 25-plus. So this 40-point fantasy upside, that was sort of a one-time thing, which means that I think he can get you around 24 points. And if you'd rather go with Burton's, knowing that you've got a little more risk there with the minutes, with everybody coming back outside of Kawhi Leonard, there's your fourth value play if you want to avoid Valanciunas if you just can't stomach him. Now, as for the cover boy, obviously I had LeBron James as the cover boy for this, but the first player that I want to plug in here is DeMar DeRozan. And I'm going to move DELON Wright back up to point guard because that just gives me more flexibility. Same thing that we did last time, we're doing this time. With Lowry out, DeMar DeRozan sees an uptick in fantasy points per minute. He also sees an uptick in his usage rate. He should be able to clear 39, 40, 42 fantasy points. He averages 40. The possibility for 50-point fantasy upside tonight is massive. This is a game that you want to roster DeMar DeRozan. The Cleveland is not very good in defensive efficiency. They kind of flow up and down. This is a team that he can score a lot of points against. And it just looks like a great spot once again for DeMar DeRozan. And on a short slate where there aren't that many players that can score 35 or 40 real-life fantasy points. Now, I do like LeBron James in this spot. I don't think that I want to fade him. But we're going to need a little bit more value to pop up for me to want to go to him because with Kawhi Leonard out, we know that LaMarcus Aldridge is a different player. You know, this is 50-point fantasy upside with, 50 to 55-point fantasy upside for only 8.5K. So I'm going to save the 3,000. I'm going to come to LaMarcus Aldridge and save myself some coin. Now, you've got Harrell at power forward and center. You've got Valanciunas at center. You can slide in Ty Wallace if you want him. That could be the key to getting us to LeBron James, is if Ty Wallace is a play. You can definitely slide him in there and go with those three studs, DeRozan, Aldridge, LeBron James. You can find one more value and then slide into mid-range. But this is the five that I'm going to go with for the beginning of the day. It is only 8 a.m. here on the left coast. Lineups lock at 5 p.m. I mean, we're talking 9 hours from now. A whole lot of news can come down in 9 hours to change the slate, and that's the way that NBA goes. So if you're not ready, if you're not nimble, if you're not ready to pivot, you really have to reevaluate your NBA game. CJT Friars, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. 3 months in a row, unlocking the silver sub badge in the chat. You get to hold that with you for 3 more months until you get the gold sub badge. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, come on over here to Twitch, give me a follow, be a part of the live stream. You don't just have to watch these on YouTube, but if you are watching on YouTube, be sure to click that like button. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. I've included a bunch of links to other videos and all the other social media channels, including the Discord, where the chat goes on while I'm not on stream 24 hours a day, and we have some subs only channels for the subscribers on Twitch, so that they can get involved. And those are really the most active and best channels that we have there, talking NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL all day long. So thank you for joining once again. Click that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for Friday for the first look for NBA and for the question and answer. I spend 1 hour every Friday talking about NFL with the subscribers on Twitch, and then we upload that to YouTube as well. So be back tomorrow with those. Until then, best of luck tonight on the short slate, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.